All right, Dad, this is a serious question. I know you don't know because you don't watch practice. You've only seen a small sample size. I understand you think Jalen Hurts will start against Louisville. I get all that. You've told us that. You haven't wavered. I'm not as convicted with it as you are. We had Scott Hunter on yesterday. It rolled right off his tongue. I mean, he wasn't even – I didn't even try to bait him to say it. He basically said he's earned the right to start the game. All right, so that's fine. You guys think he'll start the game. But in your opinion, and that's all it is an opinion, Nick Saban's only matter, who is a better quarterback? Jalen Hurts or the small sample that you've seen with Tua? Obviously, he was outstanding in the second half against Georgia. The other games he got in, he played well, but it was mop-up duty. There was a big lead. There was no pressure there. Which is a better quarterback, in your opinion?
Here is the deal that people don't understand. The better quarterback does not necessarily have to be the better quarterback in ability. We'd like for him to be. But the better quarterback is the guy that the team thinks is the better quarterback. The ones that the offensive and defensive linemen feel good about or feel the best about. The ones that they feel like has control of the team. Now, that particular player at this present time, for me, without seeing practice, is Jalen Hurts. Now, when you talk about the good of Jalen Hurts, you talk about his ability to run. Now, my running is different from other people's. I'm not talking about 25 yards on a bust. I'm talking about a first down, getting by somebody when you're on a drive to score to keep the football, and you make it by half a yard because you're a pretty good runner. So the ability, and I think that's Coach Saban's idea of a quarterback, is who gets a hold of this football team. And if you were to grab the offensive lineman over in the corner by himself and ask him, he would give you the answer as to who he thought ran the team the best. And I think based on the number of wins and the number of games that Jalen Hurts has played, that he has controlled the football team. Now, he had a bad first half because he played against a team that had worked so cotton-picking hard to get ready for them and knew everything they did before they did it, that he couldn't get his breath. And they had him scattered down to the T. And Georgia was just as good as Alabama was, personnel-wise, and even for a while better. So he didn't have a very good half. So in order to give them a different look offensively against somebody that was, first of all, that was going to be very effective running to his left, which I think is big for a left-hander, who's going to be I watched Snake play all those years. Had him in basketball class. Hard to guard on the basketball court. But left-handed, and he did things that Georgia had not seen in the first half. And he did them effectively, and he got out and he wiggled out of things where Georgia had him. He wiggled out. And now we come to a play where the defensive safety never gets over on the guy. He stands back there and makes a huge defensive mistake in the backfield. And when he does, the ability to throw it was there more so than Jalen Hurts. The ability to catch it, which we don't give the catcher near enough credit, was there, and he caught it. So based on that one play and the other plays where he wiggled out of Georgia's defense, everybody says that he is the leader of the team. I don't believe that. Now, it may be that he is. It may be that he is. But I think, Scott Hunter doesn't realize that we don't have two-a-days anymore. He said after two-a-days, ain't no two-a-days. Ain't going to be no two-a-days. They're going to pull their puddings in the afternoon. They're going to look at film or whatever. Ain't going to be no two-a-days. So, based on what I feel is a fair assumption of analogy of what I believe quarterbacks do. Most people that listen to this show believe the ability of the quarterback.
So what you're saying, though, of course, I know how you do. You say it and you get everybody all confused. We don't really know what you said. Is that Jalen? If you polled 40 guys on that team and said, "Who can we win with? Who do you want being the quarterback?" You're saying more would pick Jalen than they would Tua. Not saying that Tua doesn't have more ability. They just believe in him more. Is that what you're saying?
I'm saying I think after the one-a-days at practice, they would say, let's go with the guy who has gotten us this far. Has gotten us this far in the past years, and give him a shot to see if he can keep the job. Now, if he can't keep the job, then the coaches are going to make the change, provided they feel that the team also ALSO, also has confidence in Tua. And if they do, then go with him. But I think the right thing to do is to give the kid who has won 20-something games the opportunity to be the starter and see if he can continue to win the team. And I can tell you one thing. I don't know much. I know tomorrow's Wednesday. And the next thing I know is that your starting quarterback will be Jalen Hurts when they open up against Louisville.
But you're not saying that Jalen.
You can bet on.
You're not. But even if he is the starter.
Yeah, starter.
You're not still saying that he's a better quarterback than Tua, are you? Because he is the starter.
No, I don't know whether he is or not, because I don't know how Tua hadn't played enough. Now, here's the deal. You get them all upset when you play one a quarter and another one a quarter. They feel like when they get in the dressing room, and even I'm related to basketball or anything else, I'm playing half the game. Last year, Jalen Hurts, I was playing the entire game. They brought a guy in halfway through the fourth quarter. I'm disgruntled. Tua is saying, I won that Georgia game. I won it. My parents told me I did. The kids told me I did. The fans told me I did. In fact, they've got my name as a Heisman Trophy because I can pass and the other guy can only run. And maybe I can run too. So I'm upset. So if you go halfway, you can't go halfway through the first quarter because you can't get a test. You got to go a quarter with Jalen Hurts. And if you then go a quarter with Tua, and then decide at the half who's the best, that ain't gonna work.
Yeah, but I want people to stop thinking that Jalen Hurts is going to all of a sudden become a better passer. We heard Scott Hunter yesterday. Look, he's going
to be better.
He's going to be about the same. At some point, this guy's work.
What about the receivers?
Why couldn't Tim? Barry? Yeah, but you got to throw the ball this catchable. Why could Tim Tebow? You can't tell me anybody outworks Tim Tebow. I will never believe that. Why could he not become a better passer? I think at some point in your career, you are what you are. Yes, James.
So go ahead, Coach.
They beat people. B-E-A-T. They beat them, and they had control of the team. If whoever, what's his name, Mustang or Champ had said, not Mustang, whoever coached him, had said, he just doesn't throw it that well. I'm going to bring in another quarterback. They've gone crazy. Come on, Barry.
So let me ask you this, Barry, then. Do you think Jalen Hurts has already reached his ceiling as a passer?
Yeah. I do. I think he is what he is. I don't think he's ever going to be a great passer. I think he's a winner. I think he makes he's a winner, and he makes the plays. He's proven it time at Mississippi State this past year, Clemson 2 years ago. People get too hung up on stats.
Like he makes a 1 yard play, gives them a first down to go.
He's got the it. Now, this is not a knock on Tua because he can do it too. He makes the plays that you got to have. His stats are not going to be great. Now, he was terrible against Georgia. Ain't no doubt about it. Coach Saban and staff made the right decision yanking. They should have yanked him against Auburn. He was not playing well. But he's shown he wouldn't be 26-2, that he – forget the stat. People get so hung up on what percentage you throw. He's never going to be a great passer. Tim Tebow was never going to be a great passer, and his ability only took him – so far, and then when you had to be able to throw the football, what you do in the National Football League, they cut him.
Barry,
yeah.
Here's the problem. Both of them, with the schedule that Alabama is playing, and that's fine, are going to be good. And it won't matter. Now, you may have to decide a little bit more when you get down to the playoff games against Georgia or the Final Four. But both of them doing what they do with the offensive and defensive, or the offensive line that Alabama, I think, is going to have, they're both going to be good at what they do. And the old man says it ain't going to matter.
James?
So I'll follow up again. Let's expand this to his overall quarterbacking profile then for you, Barry. Has Jalen Hurts as an overall quarterback already reached his ceiling?
I think Jalen Hurts, I think he has it. I think they have so much game film on him that they know how to take away his strengths and make him play to his weaknesses. And that will eventually happen with Tua. They're going to take away his strengths. But when you have 28 games of film out there and these defensive coordinators don't get paid $1.5 million for no reason, he has been over-scouted. Tua has not. He's fresh. They don't know what his strengths are. When he came in against Georgia in a high-pressure game, he got it done. But I don't know that I'm ready to say he's going to be preseason SEC Player of the Year based off of one half of football. There are people that's just a prediction. It's an opinion. But when people say, "Well, y'all ready to say you're sorry for saying that." That Jalen was better than Tua last year. No, come on, guys. You go on feel. You can't say that one half against Georgia means that Tua was a better quarterback last year for Alabama. It's a team game, and people that say that have never coached.
What did I say that confused you?
Well, you just said so much. It was good what you said. You kind of say it, then that way you can win on both sides. Like you have a tendency to know how to do that. Like
I'm not winning on Tua's side.
But the way you talk, and we got to get to break, is it makes it sound like you're almost against Tua, and I'm sure you're not. Right? You're just. Is it because you're just taking up? It's like Jalen's your son, and you don't like people.
One plays better than the other. That doesn't always mean it's the one who has the team, I think.
Yeah, James, anything you want to wrap that up with? I think he has reached his ceiling. Now, is that 26-2 is pretty good? I think, like Dad said, they can win all their regular season games. Now, when they get to the Final Four, is his skill set going to keep you from getting over the hump? I think that's why it's great that you have two guys like that. Hopefully, if they're both mentally into the season, then you get to the Final Four, you could maybe have them both. How good would Jalen be, James, if Tua is the starter and everybody's prepared for him, and then he struggles one game and they put Jalen, they haven't prepared for his legs and all that throughout the week? How good will he be in a game like that? I think the guy could be outstanding.
Who knows? But at least just from listening to you, though, as far as if Jalen really kind of has, for me, this is for me personally, if Jalen has reached his ceiling, then that to me, as far as if I'm putting money on these two on the stock market, I'm putting my money on Tua right now.
Oh well, yeah. In the stock market, you put it on a guy that you don't know. It's like you wouldn't buy stock in Alabama because everybody already thinks they're going to be good. You buy stock in somebody who you don't think's very good, and all of a sudden they boom, they're great. So we'll see as this thing.
Buy stock in Missouri.
Yeah, you buy stock in Missouri. You don't buy stock in Alabama. You buy stock in South Carolina. So we'll see as that thing goes.